Over 20 years ago, Nintendo launched one of the most iconic and popular handheld redesigns in their history, the Game Boy Advance SP. At the time, there had yet to be a gaming handheld built with the clamshell design, and for that reason, it went on to establish quite the legacy for them, and its form factor carried forward into the Nintendo DS and 3DS designs. Flash forward to now, there have been numerous companies releasing emulation handhelds for a few years, and the clamshell form factor is becoming the latest trend. Anbernic just released their first take on a clamshell design called the RG35XX SP, unabashedly echoing the look and name of the Game Boy Advance SP. Reviewing tech isn't exactly what I aim to do on this channel, but as you may know, I love to cover anything in the Game Boy Advance scene. So when Anbernic revealed the RG35XX SP, I knew I had to have one, and it just arrived. Coincidentally, before I modded my GBA SP to look the way it does in the logo for my channel, I did have the 2003 Platinum model, so naturally I had to choose that one to throw it back to my GBA SP roots. Now there's already a slew of great Anbernic RG35XX SP videos already on YouTube, so I'm not going to do a deep dive on features or a breakdown of the specs. But lately I've seen questions on social media asking if buying a GBA SP is worth it in 2024, and so my approach on this is to make the quick argument for RG35XX SP consideration. Despite looking identical to the GBA SP, Anbernic's model is actually a bit bigger and beefier all around, and therefore a little heavier, but the difference isn't massive. If you play a regular GBA SP every day and go to pick one of these up, yeah, you'll notice a difference, but if you are looking to revisit the old days when you had a GBA SP, this will probably feel very familiar. Some users might not enjoy the clickiness of the buttons, but I actually kinda like it, although I will admit they can be a little loud. However, if playing this on a commute, you likely won't hear anything over the sound of traffic. A big but now long-running standard included is the headphone jack, and I read online that there is a future plan to enable support for Bluetooth headphones, which would be really nice. I don't really plan on connecting a controller or hooking this up to a monitor, but just know that those possibilities are also included. Upon first boot up, I was actually really impressed to see how well the stock firmware operates, and so what I'm doing here is running RetroArch pre-installed. I took the liberty to dump the save files from several of my cartridges using my analog pocket, and I've moved them onto the microSD card in the Anbernic. If you're used to playing games in RetroArch, then most of this won't sound new. But a big advantage here is having access to all the bells and whistles that come with it, including features like save states, button remapping, and fast forwarding. On the RGXX35SP itself, there is a handy brightness adjustment function by holding the menu button and pressing either volume up or down. Also, you can sleep the system by simply closing the lid, which is super convenient for pick up and play gaming. As far as the battery goes, playing these games can last you up to 10 or more hours, which is pretty solid for a single charge. One edge that I'll give to modding a GBA SP over using this is that the image quality is just a bit better on an IPS screen upgrade, but regardless, the RGXX35SP is already pretty darn good, and I can appreciate little details like including a GBA SP bezel as part of the overlay border. That's a nice touch of authenticity. Here's a quick run of some gameplay just for show. For having the tendency of juggling playing games on modded original hardware and an analog pocket, where is the motivation for me to use this thing? Well, playing cartridges on a modded GBA SP nowadays is still pretty much the same thing as it was, just with a better screen. Using a flash card adds a few quality of life upgrades, but overall not too much better of an experience. And the analog pocket does allow for save states and sleep mode, but it's not really a part of the debate within this video, so we will toss that one out. Having RetroArch to play games in the SP form factor really does make for a high quality GBA gaming experience, even considering some of its shortcomings. I can make a case for playing games where I need to fast forward lengthy dialogue or maybe reconfigure buttons more to my liking. And those things I just can't do on a basic GBA SP. These days, to have a nice modded GBA setup, you may be spending north of $200 when adding up the cost of all the required components. But if you're a dedicated original hardware gamer or you do have a decent cartridge library that you'd like to utilize, then there's just no getting around the path of acquiring a GBA SP. However, if that's something that doesn't apply to you and you would just be happy to have something in that form factor that can just play those games with ease, then the Anbernic RG35XX SP is an absolutely easy sell. Currently, you can purchase one for around $70, which is totally in the budget-friendly category, and as you've seen, there is a lot of quality that comes with it. In addition, Anbernic did launch these in various color options, which gives you a nice incentive to pick one up. And I didn't even touch on the fact that you can emulate many other consoles up to certain Nintendo 64 and Sega Dreamcast games as well, so consider that a huge plus. But to circle back to the main question that I'm posing here, is the Anbernic RG35XX SP a worthy substitute for a GBA SP in 2024? While it's not perfect, there is a whole lot to enjoy here, and it can definitely scratch that GBA SP itch that you might have, and at a super affordable price too. I'm really happy to have this in my collection, and it truly feels like my GBA SP from 2003 resurrected. Anyway, let me know if this video helped you decide to pick one up, or if you already own one and found your way here, let me know what you think of it. Thank you for watching.